Happy Wednesday, everybody! Context for this video. Some recent conversations in my life have been about injuries received from parents, and I'm talking especially like emotional injuries. Crap, I'm already talking about really sensitive stuff, and I'm not feeling very sensitive right now. This is gonna go well. So I'm talking about things like, my parents hurt me in this way, and I have this memory that I need to heal from. My parents weren't supportive of me. My parents said this, and this really hurt me in this way. Such and such and such and such. Very relatable conversations that I've had with people throughout my life, because families are hard, and I've definitely had my share of run-ins with my parents and my share of hurt. But recently, as we've been having these conversations, there's been a thought in my head, because sometimes I think, and that thought is, well, one day I want to be a dad, and if I'm a dad, how are my kids going to remember me? How are they going to see me? How are they going to talk about me? So guys, in this moment, I want to talk about how I love my dad. Let's tell a story. Once upon a time, it was 2015, and I moved across the country to Virginia to do pro-life stuff, and it was great. Did a lot of fun work, saving babies and such like, and then just over 3 months after that, I got fired. Very clearly remember this day, April 8th, 2015, when suddenly I was jobless and homeless because my living situation was also tied into the work that I was doing. I was given a 3-hour notice, to pack up all my stuff and leave. I was given a single night at a hotel room, and then I was on my own. Of course, there's two sides to every story. This isn't a place for this story. So what happened next? Well, I decided to go job hunting and couch surfing. I flew out to Denver, Colorado to interview with Focus. That was fun. I looked around in the Virginia area where I was looking for something in campus ministry especially. I drove to the Cincinnati, Ohio area and crashed on a couch down there, and job hunted in that area. After Cincinnati, I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there my good friend Spencer put me up and very much made Tulsa feel like home to me. Spencer told me about this program called Totus Tuus, which was essentially a summer job that was a perfect fit for me. So I did Totus Tuus for the summer. But then the end of Totus Tuus came, and this was this moment in my life where I kind of reached the end of my rope. I had been expecting that it would be somewhat easy to find a campus ministry job somewhere because I work well with college students, and I have a lot of heart, and I know my faith well, but my experience is very much not that. It wasn't easy. It simply wasn't easy. And while I was in Totus Tuus, I turned 26, which meant that I could no longer be on my parents' health insurance, and the way the laws of the country go, I need to have health insurance. So, to recap, this 26-year-old, Peter, left Idaho in January, chasing dreams and wanting to do great things to help other people. In April, he was fired. For the next 2 months, he was job hunting, just wanting to find some place where he could dedicate his life to sharing his faith with other people, and couldn't find anywhere. He did Totus Tuus for a couple months, and then Totus Tuus ended, and suddenly it became very real because he needed to find a place or a way to get health insurance. I felt very disillusioned in that moment, and I knew that my parents would catch me if I went back to Idaho, but at the same time, I didn't want to go back to Idaho. Not because I don't like Idaho, but because going back to Idaho felt a lot like giving up on my dreams. And so I remember in a moment, I was in a parking lot, and all of this was just hitting me all at once. So I called my dad, and I asked him for help. One thing that I've realized about my dad is that he doesn't have exactly the same value system as I do. He sees me as a very talented person who's smart, who's a hard worker, who's good with people. He sees me as somebody who has great potential to be very successful and to have a very good career. And I think he's right. I think that I have a lot of gifts, and I could have a very successful life with a very successful career. And the problem is that I have this strange notion where I want to dedicate my career to some sort of ministry, which some people see as inspiring. Great, sure, if you want to be inspired. For my dad, though, it was hard for him to see me leave for Virginia back in January, because he very much saw me looking for a career that didn't offer the same stability as other places that I could go. And lo and behold, on many levels, he was right. I mean, I got fired. That was nice. I mean, here I was homeless and in a crisis and not knowing where to go and still not wanting to give up my dreams, and in the middle of a parking lot in a state where I had no home. Not only no home, but no job. Not only no job, but no applications even. No job openings. And still, I couldn't let go of this notion where my career had to be dedicated to some sort of ministry. So I knew in that conversation, if we decided together that I wasn't going to go back to Idaho, my dad was going to ask me for at least some sort of a roadmap, some sort of a plan as to how I was not going to end up on the streets. What were my next steps? I floated around for a while. What are my next steps? So those were things that I had to remember as I was going into that conversation. And on the other side, I noticed my dad. He simply accepted that I have this notion where my career is going to be in ministry. Yes, it was more practical to go back to Idaho on many levels because I had a home base there, but I didn't want to do that. And my dad supported me. The two of us together, we decided on some of my next steps, which mostly was quite simply looking for a transitional job in the Tulsa area while I continued to do my job hunting and continue to look for something in ministry. You know, when it comes to daddy issues, I mean, which I have like anybody has, I think it's important to remember that my dad loves me. I think it's important to remember how much he's given me through my life, because he's given a lot. And not everyone has the same dad as I do. And perhaps other dads out there haven't been as supportive for their kids as my dad has been to me. I do want to just bring a greater sense of hope and of optimism into this conversation that so many people bring up from time to time. Sometimes I feel like people try to one-up each other in these daddy issues problems. Oh yeah, well my dad did this. Oh yeah, well my dad did this. My experience was that for me to appreciate how much my dad loves me, I had to be willing to step out of my box and see things from his perspective. And that's helped me to allow him to love me more. And that's also helped me to love him. My story isn't everybody's story. So, please don't let this video cause anyone to feel shame or guilt or beat themselves up for things they've said about their parents. That's just not helpful. To be honest, I don't even know. I don't have any advice to give, or this was my story and this has taught me this, therefore everyone shall do this. No, I don't have that. I just want to tell all of you that I love my dad, and that was an important thing for me to say this week. Alright, that's all I got. God bless and ciao. Oh, hey Mom. I love you too. Shoot. I moved my tripod. You can never fix a tripod. It's just, can't get... I'm not starting over though. I'm sorry. I'm already 5 minutes in. What it is what it is.